Hi, and welcome to NURS818, everyone. This semester, we're going to be focusing on nursing leadership for policy and interprofessional collaboration. My name is Dr. Mike Bush, and together, along with Dr. Smriti Pant, we will be co-teaching this course. A backup contact for the course is Dr. Karen Brown-Fackler, and you can reach her via email on the homepage here. I just want to introduce the class in this quick video presentation, and then we'll go over the course assignments for the semester. There are not a lot of assignments, however, the quality of the work is what's going to reflect more heavily on your grade this semester, obviously. And on the main page, you can see our contact information for both myself and Dr. Pant. We do both email or you can text us. We've included our cell phone number. So if you need a quicker response or have a simple yes/no type answer to something, feel free to text either of us. That's usually easier, and we can get back with you a little bit quicker. So this semester, we're going to be focusing on the study of advanced practice and some of the transformational, innovational, and collaborative leadership approaches of leaders in the healthcare field to help improve patient outcomes. So let's first take a look at the assignments. Your page will look a little bit different than this. Hasn't been published yet, so this is the instructor view. So for your first assignment, very simple, easy points. It's due January 17th at 11:59 p.m. Is just an introduction. So here you'll kind of post some information about yourself, your background, either medical or otherwise, your current roles or responsibilities, why you've chosen maybe to pursue your DNP, and then anything kind of fun that you like to do, just so we can get to know you a little bit better. Just before we start, I'll show you, this will be the course book that we're going to be using, DNP Education, Practice, and Policy, and it'll be the second edition of the book. We can just quickly look at the course syllabus here. Oops. So again, you have our contact information through here, and then Karen Brown-Fackler's phone number there, that I believe is going to be her office phone number. I do need to just double check on the office hours, but for now, follow those. And then the grading rubric is true for any other graduate classes. That's just the standard grading scale. So not a whole lot to the syllabus there. So your first kind of real or true assignment will be the healthcare policy analysis, and that'll be due Friday, February 7th. And in each of these assignment categories, I try to lay out all the associated readings for you. And so here you'll just read the beginning of section 4. It's just one page, and then chapter 12 and chapter 15. So about a little less than 30 pages between the two. We've tried to somewhat limit the amount of reading from last semester. I think it was a little bit overwhelming last semester, so I've really tried to kind of narrow down the scope of how much you'll need to be reading, and pick the quality material for you. So for this assignment, fairly straightforward. You're going to pick a healthcare policy analysis of your choosing, and then kind of disseminate it. And the policy can be anything. It can be any current thing that your policy that your hospital is working on. It could be a policy that you think is pertinent or interesting, or that you maybe want your hospital to adapt. And it doesn't have to be related to your DMP capstone project, which is your big change project that we're going to work on. But it might not be a bad idea to focus it around the capstone project, or something that you may be interested related to the capstone project, because it may provide a nice segue for you. Sorry, I'm just getting over this nasty cold or whatever it is. Your assignment will follow the policy analysis process, and the PDF is attached here for your review. And it's a fairly short read, but the assignment grading rubric with the problem identification, process definition, policy, process analysis, qualitative analysis, evaluation and choice and implementation, and planning all come from the health policy analysis article. Okay. And then further references on healthcare policy analysis can be viewed. Again, a fairly quick read, not too bad. And obviously for this assignment, this will be professionally written in APA format. For your third assignment, which will be due Friday, March 6th, you will have a discussion with a legislator, a legislative assistant. So a lot of students find this to be kind of a fun assignment, actually. Your associated readings are going to come from just 2 pages in section 5 and then all of chapter 16, but again, not too much. And what you're going to be doing for this assignment is scheduling an appointment with a legislator or a legislative assistant in order to discuss a healthcare policy concern. The biggest thing with this assignment is you want to make sure that the healthcare policy concern that you bring to the legislator or legislative assistant has some bearing on what they support or don't support, but they should be kind of familiar with it. Like, you wouldn't want to take a healthcare policy to a legislator who strictly does finance, for instance, right? Like, they may come to vote on that bill, a bill eventually, but they're not either going to support it or really know anything about it. So you want to try to figure out what policies are being put forth by who, and then kind of go from there, and we'll discuss that in just a minute here. So for this assignment, you can work individually or you can work in groups of 2 to 3 students. However, if you do work in a group, you need to please email Dr. Pant and me, Dr. Bush, just so we're aware of who's going to be working in the group, so we can figure out how the roles will be delineated amongst the members in the group. And for this assignment, ideally a face-to-face interview is preferable. However, if you have scheduling concerns, then a phone interview would be like an acceptable alternative. It would be preferable if you could record that interview and see how it goes. And travel isn't always necessary. So if you're looking at talking to like a state legislator, they represent different localities and they return home to those localities quite often, really. And when they do that, they may have a coffee hour type thing where you can sit down with them for 15 to 30 minutes and just be able to present the healthcare policy concern to them or their assistant. So it's not like you have to drive down to Lansing necessarily. You can email them or call their office and get in touch with them and see what they say regarding that. What you'll want to do, now again, this is, remember, just a discussion with a legislator or legislative assistant. It's not like you're developing new policies that you want them to adopt and whatnot. That's not really the goal of this. It's more so just becoming kind of familiar with that process and opening up avenues of conversation with them. And so what you'll do is pick a policy and create a little brochure or handout, just like a one-page thing that's simple to read. That's kind of visually appealing, if you will, and you will be able to provide that to them or their LA, and in order for them to kind of review that themselves, you want them to be able to kind of look at it and quickly be able to disseminate the information, so you don't want it packed with a bunch of text or references. That's not really the goal of your handout. And after the interview is conducted, you'll post the interview assignment on Canvas, and then for everyone who does an interview, you need to respond with a brief one-paragraph response of your opinion on how that went, or whatever it may be. And obviously APA won't be required for this assignment. What I have included are for the Michigan legislative bills, which you can search for through this link, and you can actually see the current legislation, who's sponsoring the bill, where it is it in the House or Senate, has it been introduced, has it not been introduced. We can actually take a look at that just really quick here, maybe. So you can search by category, by sponsor. You can, if you find a bill like that you're Googling randomly, you can actually put in the bill number or any keywords. We can maybe just look at the Excel spreadsheet of the current bills. And you can kind of browse through here. You probably want to break them down by category. So you only get the healthcare bills, but numerous bills that are being introduced. Let's see if it works by category. Let's see. We'll try health occupations and see what comes up. Okay, so quite a few bills you can see. But then this will tell you, when you click on the details, it'll tell you who's sponsoring it, and more details obviously about it. You can search for your Michigan House of Representatives by district at this link. You can search for Michigan senators here, and you can search for federal Congress members here. So, and you can also do this at a local level too. It doesn't necessarily have to be at a state or federal level. So if you know someone locally who's sponsoring something, you can do that as well. It's fine. And then obviously the infamous grading rubric is below. For the leadership competency self-evaluation, which will be due Friday, March 20th, there's going to just be 2 chapters for this, and you're going to basically prepare a leadership competency self-evaluation essay. This will be an APA format. All of us are leaders in our own right, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and part of the DMP NURS is obviously there's a large component of leadership for the DMP in improving healthcare, patient and healthcare outcomes. So you'll basically do just a critical self-reflection on why you're a good leader, where you can improve. And what you want to do is review the leadership theme competencies of the DMP on pages 149 through 152, and then reflect on those competencies in your own practice, and obviously where you can improve. And the assignment grading rubric is, I think, fairly straightforward for this assignment. All right, getting near the end, you're going to develop your DMP business plan, do a SWOT analysis, which is a strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats analysis, and a cost benefit analysis of your proposed DMP project. So we're getting, to the goal of ultimately helping you come up with ideas and start to develop your DMP project. So that's why in the early part of this course, it's not imperative, but it is kind of important that if you do pick a policy, maybe try to focus that policy on something you might be interested in doing later in the course, like for your business plan and SWOT analysis. So some details on SWOT analysis are attached as PDFs here, so you can review these documents, and it kind of goes through how to actually do a SWOT analysis and business plan. And then the second article kind of goes through the same thing. There's a little bit more detail in this one, I think. So, and then there is a student example of a SWOT analysis. And you can obviously see it's listed in, APA, all the formatting. And hers was about 12 pages double space. And we're not looking for length. We're looking more at the quality of what you put in there. But I think 12 pages is probably about a realistic length anyway, and several references at the end. So you'll have your project introduction and business plan, the SWOT analysis, and a cost benefit analysis, and then APA formatting for the grading rubric. I think this is where you'll run into a lot of questions. In the reading, in the book, the scholarly projects and the student experiences actually lists out some projects for you. And then I think these chapters, it's short, just 20 pages, I think actually goes through kind of how to start developing that plan for you. So that can answer some of your questions there, but please feel free to email us with anything else. And wrapping up the course, just chapter 2 for this, and we're going to be looking at kind of the DMP and contributing to the future of nursing. And we want you to start to look at how interprofessional collaboration will impact your DMP capstone project, and how interprofessional collaboration impacts your current practice, and maybe where you see interprofessional collaboration kind of going in the future of nursing in the healthcare field as in general. So basically what you'll do, and this can be done, 2 to 3 paragraphs probably, and then at the end of that you're going to post like a 1-paragraph summary of Nursing 818 and let us know what you might like changed, what assignments you might have liked or disliked, or anything you've kind of gained along the journey. Now, if you're not comfortable posting right to Canvas because you have a lot of negative things to say, for instance, please just email. You can send us an email with that, and so others don't have to read it. But I think at the same time, even if it is something that you're critiquing us on or wanting change, I think other students should see that and be able to say, yeah, I agree with that, or no, I don't agree with that too. But in general, for the discussion of interprofessional collaboration, that's going to be on Canvas, so APA is not going to be required. And that's the assignment grading rubric, pretty basic. So really you kind of have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 big assignments. The introductions, that's, is what it is. And then this last one should not be a difficult assignment either. So really you're looking at 4 larger assignments a semester. And while they each have specific due dates and times, if you can kind of work out of order, you can submit early. I wouldn't go totally out of order because there is kind of a flow to the assignments, and you'll see that they kind of do start to segue into each other, especially when you start getting down to your DMP project plan, SWOT, and cost benefit analysis project. So some of the policies and whatnot that we focus on up here start to weave their way into some of your larger assignments like that. But that's the course overview. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please email me, call, or text. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.